جزاكم الله خير. Right now, inshallah, we'll be with Brother Shukri if he's with us.
Yes, I'm here. Can you guys hear me? Assalamu alaikum.
عليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام.
Excellent. All right. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Thank you, Sheikh Sayed, for letting me share a little bit of time with the community. I'd like to take the next 15 minutes or so to give you an update on the masjid, and hopefully ask for your help and with the various activities that we conduct on a yearly basis. Ramadan Mubarak to all of you and your families, first of all. And inshallah, all of you are staying safe, and all of you are safe given the current time that we are in. So with that, I'll be talking about three things. I'll first mention volunteers. And the reason I want to talk about volunteers first, because the masjid, after all, is nothing without volunteers. And it is truly based on all the work that you, everyone in the community does to help the masjid. So we'll start with that. And I'll apologize up front because I'm 100% sure that I forgot people that did help the masjid over the past couple of years. And in many ways, whether it's through work, by donating money, by being there, being part of the community. So I apologize up front if I forgot your name and is not mentioned here. The next thing that I'll talk about is the activities related to volunteering, and specifically I'll talk about the school. MashaAllah, the school is one of the most important things that the masjid does, and that will show in some of the activities that I'll bring up. I will not be able to talk about everything that they do, but mashallah, the teachers do a great job and help us as a community make sure that our kids are getting as close as we can to an Islamic education and learn Arabic and Quran to be good Muslims, inshallah. The third topic will be the financial update for Tawheed. And then hopefully we wrap up with a call for action and ask for your support. So let me go to a slideshow, and please let me know if you can't see the picture or the slide.
Yeah, it's clear.
Very good. Thank you, Brother Bilal. So I start off with this slide, and you can see a picture of some young sisters. And the reason I started with this, even though the title of the slide is volunteers, the amazing thing is if you've been around for a few years, you'll know some of these girls have been around and have been in the school and started with the beginner level and then moved on in the school. And now, mashallah, they're actually volunteering their time to help with the school. And they're also, the picture is part of the youth young Muslim group, but many of these sisters are volunteering their time to help younger kids to come up to speed on Quran, Islamic studies, etc. Right? So as I mentioned earlier, I'll be talking about the volunteers, and I really would like to take the time to mention names. So the sisters, mashallah, have been very active in a number of ways. You see some of the activities that they're involved in, and this is both the brothers and the sisters. We do a lot of things around Ramadan, as you can see right now from the journal and the magazine that was shared by the Sheikh and his team. We also have been doing a bunch of food drives, thanks to the sisters and the brothers. The brothers get involved quite a bit in parking. Parking is a big issue for us at Tawheed, and so without their help, we really cannot make it happen on Fridays and during Eid celebrations. On Ramadan, if we were to meet in person, hopefully, inshallah, the situation will pass and we'll get back and meet as a congregation soon. Youth activities is definitely something that they participate in. And then, as you all know, the Imam has been doing quite a few workshops that are well attended and well received by the community. So I'll mention the names: Afrah, Sister Afrah, Sister Amira, Sister Amina, Sister Aniza, Sister Anisa, Sister Aisha, Sister Asra, Sister Huma, Sister Israth, Sister Mishal, I think, Sister Sima, Sister Sumaya, Sister Tahniyat, and Sister Tasneem. And again, I apologize if I forgot any names. On the brother side, we have a good list as well. And I'm reciting these lists here. I'm hoping that I can encourage the rest of you to come on board and be part of this. So Brother Adam, Brother Ahsan, Brother Ajax, Brother Aus, Brother Bilal, Brother Ijaz, Brother Al-Haj, Brother Faizan, Brother Fazal, Brother Furqan, Brother Hamid, Brother Imran, Brother Irfan, Brother Iyas, Brother Jakir, Brother Mahmoud, Brother Mashuq, Brother Muhammad Al-Hajj, Brother Muhaddin, Brother Nisar, Brother Rafiq, Brother Rahim, Brother Ruknuddin, Brother Sakib, hopefully I'm pronouncing the names correctly, Brother Sarfroz, Brother Sharif, Brother Tawfiq, Brother Tawheed again, and Brother Zafar and Brother Zakir. And so all these brothers, I thank you from the bottom of my heart, and may Allah bless you and reward you for all the work that you do. All right. So what type of volunteer activities have been done this past year and the past few months? The food drive is something that's really important. It's helping the community in the time of need. There are many community members that need our help. And I'm so pleased to see so many people volunteering their time, their money, their food from our businesses, Muslim businesses around the community, and helping those in need. There are a bunch of workshops that Sheikh Sayed has conducted with the help of many volunteers, and the picture in the middle shows the last one that was done on parenting. And you can see that it was very well attended by brothers as well as sisters. The Ramadan magazine is something that's really new. I'm not sure if any of you have browsed through it, but please do. I've gone through many of the contents, and they really look pretty good. MashaAllah, there are a lot of ahadith and adhkar, as well as good, well-written articles to remind us about what we need to do in Ramadan. Right. The one important part of our community is the youth, right? And we have a bunch of youth programs, and these programs are conducted by many people, including the school, but also the volunteers that I mentioned earlier in the past couple of slides. And so we've done a bunch of, or they have done a bunch of things. For example, they had an archery outing where they went to an archery club, and the kids participated in this. I was there myself. It was well received. The kids really enjoyed themselves. There was an ice skating outing, bowling for both boys and girls, basketball, and we also do mentoring thanks to Brother Bilal and a number of other volunteers that are helping the youth learn about Islam and be hopefully leaders in the future. The weekend school, MashaAllah, like I said, it's really one of the pillars of the masjid. And alhamdulillah, it continues to thrive. It's definitely a challenge for the teachers. So I want to start by thanking all the teachers that put the time in. And it's not just the time they put in on a Saturday and a Sunday while they're in school, but it's all the additional work that it takes to teach the Sunday and Saturday schools. And as you can see from the pictures, really it's the classes are pretty lively. The kids are enjoying themselves, and to a large extent, they're learning quite a bit. What's really important to note, aside from the number of students, we continue to grow as a community. So that means basically the families and the youth in our community continues to increase. And so therefore, we need to make sure that we're keeping up with that, which means that we need to make sure that we have enough room for these, for the classes, need to make sure that we have enough students. And so this is a call out to anybody that is able to teach. It doesn't matter whether you speak Arabic or not. if you know how to teach Quran, if you know how to teach Islamic studies, if you have skills in teaching and in curriculum development, definitely please reach out to us and help us out. Right? One thing that I'd like to point out about last year, the teachers have done a great job, led by Sister May, to develop a curriculum from scratch. And really, it's something to watch, because that curriculum has been improved over time to cater to the needs of our own kids. It's not something that they took from the internet, where we bought books, which we've done in the past. It's something that basically they put together based on their experience over the past 4 or 5 years, and learning from what the kids are like or do not like, as well as learning from what good teachers do in public schools, and put together a curriculum that really is making a difference in terms of people or kids learning Quran, enjoying the time being at school, and that's shown in the results that are being achieved. Right? The other things that we do, part of the school, we also organize competitions. They're really intended to be to promote Quran memorization, to help kids learn adhan, to also learn how to conduct and deliver khutbahs. And in addition to that, we do support our community, especially those that are struggling financially, to make sure that no kid is left behind or out of the school. So the financial part is not the obstacle. It's really the room and the masjid that tends to be the obstacle, where we cannot accommodate as many people as we can. So hopefully we can rectify that shortcoming in the future. So what are we going to do for the rest of the year, right? Just like all the other schools, our school, the weekend school, is impacted. And the teachers are doing a bunch of things, including providing homework and curriculum to the parents every week. In addition to that, the teachers have added a live Zoom session on the weekend to help kids that are interested and willing to join. There are bi-weekly sessions for the YM, or the Young Muslims group, for teens and tweens and teens. And this is very well attended by our girls as well as our boys. We do plan to have a summer camp, just like we do every year, and that is an excellent opportunity to really learn Quran and focus on Islamic studies, because compared to the regular school year, where we only teach classes on Saturday and Sunday, and the kids have basically, they're away from school for 6 days, right? Where they're in a public school and with their families. And so it takes a week for them to come back and repeat or refresh their memory on what they learned the week before. During summer, we have usually 4 days in a row. And so with that consistent time and where you're learning about Quran and Islamic studies, it really makes a big difference. And it has an impact on the kids and allows them to learn much more effectively. So look for that. Hopefully, inshallah, we'll get back to face-to-face teaching by that time. All right, so now on to financials and expenses. And here I've showed a similar charts last year, kind of breakdown of the expenses. As you can see, the expenses are broken down by payroll, utilities, the maintenance, right? Any events that we conduct for the community, whether that's iftar, Eid celebration, any activities during Ramadan, etc. We have some miscellaneous expenses that are really not as important for the past couple of years. The one thing that's coming up and becoming more important for us is security, right? So as you can see, we're spending quite a bit more over the past couple of years on security. So that's an expense that we have not had to worry about in 2 years back, but now it's becoming part of our daily life. The overall trend of the expenses is increasing slightly, maybe on the order of 3% or 4%, but kind of maintained under control. As the community grows, we definitely need to spend a bit more. Okay, so how does do our expenses compare to the revenue? And so again, we're looking at the past 3 years here. The blue bar is the expense. The orange bar is the revenue. Sorry, I'm not sure if all of you can see it, but the legend is underneath the cameras. As you can see in the 2017, 2018, we actually, sorry, the blue bar is the income, the orange bar is expense. Sorry, I reversed those. So we can see in 2017, 2018, we collected a little bit more money than we spent. So we were kind of building up the reserve a little bit. In 2019, actually our revenue and expense is about the same, right? And hopefully in 2020, we will not let that trend continue and will continue to replenish the reserve for the masjid. So that's what I showed here is basically everything that has to do with operating in the masjid, from payroll to utilities to renovations, maintenance. Right? We do also collect money for the needy, and here I'm not showing absolute numbers, but I'm showing trends. And what I'm showing here is the blue bar shows, how much do we spend with respect to how much we collect. And so if we're collecting, let's say 10,000, and we distribute 10,000 to the needy, then you would see 100%. Basically, everything we collect, we distribute. And as you can see, in 2016, we distributed a little bit less. In 2017, we distributed a little bit more than we collected. And then in 2018, we distributed a little bit less than we collected because it's about 80%. But you can see right now, or in 2019, we distributed basically the gap, right? So we try to keep the charity account at a minimum as much as possible, right? And the other thing that is shown on this chart here is basically the difference between how much is distributed compared to how much we collected. And as you can see that in 2016, 2017, there was, the increase in the amount that's collected. And so between 2016 to 2017, there was about 10% increase. In 2018, we collected way more, mashallah, over 40% increase from 2017 to 2018. And so the fact that we see a decrease in 2019 about, again, 8% or so is not too alarming given that we had a large jump in 2018. So we're still well ahead of let's say 2017. So mashallah, we're collecting very well for the needy. Please continue to do that, especially over the current situation. We're gonna need to spend more on our community and the needy in our community, okay? And if you have any questions, please feel free to put those in the chat. All right, so what do we have in the bank currently? Right. So these are the accounts that we spend from. So in the bank, we currently have 146,762. You'll see the number that I shared with you last year, around the same time. So this was, last time we met was in Ramadan again, but it was towards the middle of Ramadan, I think, maybe the second week of Ramadan. So it's somewhat comparable, maybe there is a month difference. But you can see that our reserves are a little bit depleted compared to what we were in 2019. The cemetery account is definitely in good shape, and we'd like to spend that on expanding the space we have for Muslim burial. And we're working on that, and hopefully we can make some progress this year. We do keep a reserve of about 100,000, and this is extremely important, given that we have a building that's, I think, over 100 years old. It's always a wise thing to do and keep something in reserve in case we need to do some serious repairs. Inshallah, we don't have to do that, but it's something that we try to keep in reserve to make sure that we're on the safe side. The education account is, mashallah, in good shape. So again, keep in mind that when we shared numbers last year, I think the year was pretty much wrapped up and we paid all the teachers, and that's why the big difference between the number from 2019 and the current number. Right, so focusing on the expenses, and the reason I want to focus on the expenses is because we want to make sure that we keep that number in mind. when we are starting the fundraising for during Ramadan. So please expect that coming to you in the next couple of days. As you can see, the numbers are for operational activities for the masjid. It's about 155K. As I mentioned, the security is a big number for us now. We spend about 18K on that. Community activities, mashallah, we spend about 30K and try to make sure that we get the community together whenever we can to keep the masjid in a reasonable shape and make repairs. We did spend a reasonable amount of money to fix some things. For example, we had some water damage in the rooms in front of the man's prayer hall that were fixed, and a couple more things. And we started doing some work on the basement. So this is in 2019, and the work was completed in 2020. So this number doesn't include all of that expense. And so it's about 19,000 or so. And the school expenses, the 30,000 or so is basically all kind of focused on teacher salaries. We did renovate the office for the teachers upstairs, but that was included under the masjid expenses under the 19,000 or so. And mashallah, most of the work actually was done by volunteers, and may Allah bless the person that did the volunteering work for us. So what do we expect for 2020? The rough number, what we think it's going to take to keep the masjid going, basically salaries, utilities, repairs, maintenance, regular maintenance, some security expenses. Maybe we reduce that amount from 18,000 to something like 15K or so. Hopefully we continue to do the community activities because I think that's important. Hopefully we'll be able to do a couple of picnics in the summer. And so with that all added up, we're looking at maybe about 10K for some additional repairs that we need to do in the masjid. We're looking at about a number of 210 that we need to make sure we collect for 2020, right? So that's throughout the year, right? And so we need to collect a good portion of that in Ramadan, inshallah, and then hopefully for the rest of the year we can finish that, the rest of it. So my kind of last slide, and then I'll finish with just showing a slide of the board members, just to make sure that everybody knows who they are, and also to know who the treasurer is and the secretary. So what's the message here? Please help your masjid. The masjid, as I mentioned, is really standing on your shoulders, on the shoulders of volunteers like yourself. And so make sure you're part of it, right? Join volunteer teams. There are a number of teams that are very active. And so feel free to reach out, go to the @tawheed.org, and you can reach out to us that way. You can call the office manager. You can also send an email to board@tawheed.com, and hopefully we'll follow up. The masjid fundraising, as I mentioned, will start soon. So please expect in the email. If we have an email for you, you may get a letter in the snail mail, or you may even get a call from us and from our volunteers. Hopefully you can help out. If you're eager, you can go right now to the tawheed.org and donate online. So please keep us in your mind, keep the masjid in your mind, and keep the community that needs your help, and may Allah bless all of us. With that, I'll wrap up and move to the last slide. And then if there are any questions, either I or any of the board members that are attending can answer those.
Can you give me 1 minute?
Please, go ahead.
Really, dear brothers and sisters, the church around us and the Jews next to me, to my house, all of them, they give percent from you, their money, 7%, 60%, all of them, they pay it. And they were happy when they read the church and read their temple and everything. Today, For example, my son, they told him to collect money for their organization. In 5 minutes, he called some people and he collected 5,000 for their organization in 5 minutes. You know, all of you, you know, in the day of judgment, while the son of our heads, the people of Sadaqah, the people work hard for Sadaqah to give it the house of Allah, they will be in its shade. All the people, the sun over their heads, except the people of Sadaqah. Therefore, I don't know, Brother Shukri, who will ask the people to raise their hand or to pay money, or you give it optional to everyone?
I'm for optional. I think the community, mashallah, appreciates the work that you and the masjid does for them, hopefully, and they will contribute to the.
Because when Brother Qadir, 1 year, he make it optional, everybody became lazy and nobody pay except a few money. If right now we will write the money and we will put the list every day. Yes. So and so give us 1,000, 5,000, 10,000.
Thank you for that reminder. So we will put the numbers that we're collecting on the website, and so as we collect money, hopefully we will reach our goal
every day, inshallah. And halaqa, Brother Bilal will take 2 minutes to put it. Today we get so and so, and we still need until the last day of Ramadan. We have any fundraising over online this year, or just for the masjid?
I think it's important for us as a masjid to make sure that we invite other organizations to fundraise as well. I know many community members value that. And so we will be considering other organizations and how we can accommodate their need as well. Everybody is in need at this time. And so anything our community can do for them as well would be greatly appreciated. So
we need to focus
to have those.
With our masjid this year. It's online. We need to focus with our masjid, because you know every Friday the masjid is full twice. And if most of the people, especially our brother from Pakistan and Bangladesh and India, subhanallah, my wife told me every single sister put money in the box, and right now the box is complain. There's nothing enter to the masjid, no more money, and this money will protect the masjid, but nothing right now. We need to work hard and hard. يعني if everyone, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, وَمَا أَنفَقْتُم مِّن شَيْءٍ فَهُوَ يُخْلِفُهُ وَهُوَ خَيْرُ الرَّازِقِينَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in Surah Saba, whatever thing you spend for the sake of Allah, He will compensate it, and He is the best of providers. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, everything He will give it you twice. We need to know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, we have to believe Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. لا يخلف الله وعده. He never break His promise. وعد الله لا يخلف الله الميعاد. I know the money, it's heavy and it's not easy to spend from money, but this is the big test. When you pass this test, you will pass all the tests and will be so close to paradise. Maybe this sadaqah only will protect you in your grave, will protect you in the hereafter, while all the people complain, you only in the shade of your sadaqah in the day of judgment. When I read the tafsir for this ayah, I'm sorry, Brother Shukri, when I read this ayah, فيقول ربي لولا أخرتني, when the death comes to you, to anyone, he will say only, if you give me chance, I will give sadaqah. And the scholar said, why he don't say I will pray or I will do any pillars from Islam? Why when the death comes to anyone, he said, oh, Allah gave me time to do sadaqah. Because he left all his money behind him, even zakah is not, and the people will take it. مالك أم مال مورثك, your money or the money of the person who inherit you, will take everything. He said, my money. Rasulullah told him, your money, the money you spent it before your death. Really, yani, we need to do anything. If you don't have, call some people. Like my son did today in 5 minutes, you collect for his organized 5,000 in 5 minutes. How about if we still calling the people? We work hard to call, to do everything, and from ourselves we'll do like Abu Khaythama when he doesn't have anything, but he gave $1, $5. We need every single dollar, inshallah, for our masjid. Jazakumullah khair. I'm sorry for my time.
No, that's okay. I think it's a good reminder that we're going through a challenging time, and it's a time that we haven't been through before. I know many people used to come to the Friday prayer and drop off money in the boxes as they go out. That's not the case anymore. Just like we are doing for work. We used to go to an office, do our work in an office, and then come home after that. We're not doing that anymore. Now we're working from home, and we get out of a room and we're spending time with the family, and we have to rely heavily on the computer and tools like Zoom and Teams to conduct our daily job. Same thing applies in this case. So please rely on the online donation, and just like you did when you were donating a couple dollars here and there, you can do the same by going to the website and using the donation button. I think that way it's easy for everybody, and you're not donating or putting a big amount at one time, but you're donating over many days and maybe a few weeks, little by little. Hopefully that helps. I think that's all from my side, Sheikh Sayed. So it's back to you and the team. Thank you.
Jazakallah khair.
Jazakumullah khairan.
Bless our community, Ya Rabb. Allahumma ameen.
Ameen.
And everyone, his intention, inshallah, right now, is started to give the masjid something. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala increase his faith and raise him to higher degrees. Allahumma ameen. Allahumma ameen.